in 2 general elections in the last 12 years. He really does not vote. It was also posted, do you have the other slide? The middle of Texas PAC, the middle of the road Texas PAC. This was just created by some citizens here. They're the same citizens who are suing the county because they would like to keep the porn in the libraries. They want to keep the porn in the high schools. They want to keep the pornographic adult content books. If you haven't seen them, please let us know. We would be happy to show them to you. Bonnie Wallace is sitting in the front. She has books that you will be sorry you looked at, but if you haven't seen them, please let us know. We would be happy to show them to you. The middle of the road, Texas PAC, they have endorsed Hatch Smith. They have also said on the record on Facebook that Hatch is pro-book banning. Is pro-book banning? No, West Friedel is pro-book banning. They're calling removing pornographic and obscene material book banning, which it's not, but that's what they're calling it. But Hatch Smith is pro-library and pro-adult content in the children's hands. So therefore, the Llano Tea Party has already endorsed West Friedel for State Representative 53. But we encourage you guys, please show up on the 8th and ask Hatch if what the middle of the road Texas PAC stated is true. Ask him, has he seen the books? Is that really what he thinks? And who are the people that came to him to ask him to run? Who are those people? Because it looks to us like it's all the Murr people, and Murr's been censured, and that's why he's no longer running. Anyway, moving along, we have other candidates here that we'd like to introduce you to. We have JP1, Alan Fletcher, and Sam Silver are running for JP1 judge in Horseshoe Bay. Alan is here with us, and Ms. Silver is not, so we will bring up Alan Fletcher, and I will read, as he's walking up here, I will read the Justice of the Peace General Occupation Information. We will work for the state or local government. Duties may include facilitating secular marriage and civil union ceremonies, witnessing oaths and signatures, taking depositions, issuing subpoenas, taking acknowledgments. May serve as a judge on small claims court for misdemeanor offenses, aids in foreclosures, conducts inquests, provide mediation services, and also hears local tax appeals. So, local tax appeals. We like lowering our taxes. So Alan, I'll give you 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. My name is Alan Fletcher, and I'm running to be your Justice of Peace in Precinct 1. I had the honor of retiring from the Houston Police Department, and I have also run a security company for a number of years prior to becoming the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce in the greater Tomball area of Northwest Harris County. And the folks there came to me and asked me to run to be their state representative in 2008, and after running against the incumbent, I was very fortunate to have won, and I was there until I could retire. My wife of 45 years, Penny, sitting back here, we have 2 daughters, a son who's a DPS trooper and served with Marquise. He's out at Florence now training. My son, my hero, he was downrange in Iraq, and when I joined the legislature, I went to the Texas State Guard, and I've been there for 14 years now, and I'm a colonel in the Guard, and I know that all of y'all are concerned about what's happening on the border right now, and I just want you to know that the men and women of the Texas State Guard, the Texas National Guard, and the Border Patrol are all working together. They're all friends, and when the President of this United States decides to federalize our Texas National Guard, they'll just turn to their friends, the head of the Texas State Guard, and we'll take over for you. So, my wife and I came out here 3 years ago. We chose Llano. I'm an old Brady Bulldog. I went to Brady High School, and when I first came over here, I told my wife, I said, these kids out here are not going to like Brady. And back in my day, Brady and Llano were big rivals, and but when I got out here, I found out in talking to the football team, which we've become very close to, their families and the kids, and followed them around the state as they play. We learned that they don't even know Brady exists anymore. They think Laga Vista is their rival, and I had to find out where that was, basically. But all joking aside, when this issue came up, my wife had term limited me. She told me it was time to come home. She hates Austin, and I agreed with her. I missed public service. We've been out here for the last 3 years. We worked hard trying to fix our place up. Oh, I've got a time up. I mean, I didn't think I had a time.
You can go another minute. We have 3 minutes.
I'll take her time.
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness.
True, you can take your time.
Thank you very much. In all seriousness, we discussed when we moved out here that, what we were going to do, and we worked very hard on our property out Highway 16, and it is in Precinct 1. When I went to file to run for JP, I was told that I couldn't run for Justice of the Peace Precinct 1 because I didn't live in Horseshoe Bay. And I let them know in no uncertain terms that I voted for the JP out there and the commissioner, and that I definitely could run, that I was eligible to run, and that there's a big piece of Llano County that's Precinct 1. It's Sunrise Beach and Blue Lake and Horseshoe Bay and County Road 312. The first time I ever turned down it, I didn't think it was ever going to end. There's a lot of nice ranches out there. There's a lot of folks that live in Precinct 1 that are become my good friends. I'll tell you the best thing about this campaign so far is I've had the opportunity for the first time in 3 years to walk up to people and introduce myself and get to know them in this community without them thinking I'm crazy. Because you can go up to somebody and ask them to vote for you and tell them you want to be their justice of peace, but try slamming on your brakes and stopping at somebody's gate when they come out of their gate on their property and getting out and running up to them and trying to tell them who you are. They're going to think you're crazy. But it's really been an honor to get out and meet the folks. I'm just amazed at how many people I've met that are from the Houston area that are out here now in Horseshoe Bay. We've got some events coming up. We're going to have a little meet and greet at the Andrews home over off Bay West on the night of February the 13th, which is a Tuesday, and we'll get some information out to all the clubs and everyone. We'd love for you to come. We've been meeting with Sandstone about an event. We've got some nights that we picked out. We haven't been able to nail the Lieutenant Governor down yet. He's coming out and going to be there as our, the draw. He probably draws more folks than me. Give you a chance to come out and let him tell you about me, because he was my senator and I worked with him. When I got to the Texas House, I was the chairman of the Texas Tea Party. There were only 11 members in the Texas House of 150 that were in the Tea Party. And when I finished, there were 53 out of 150. And I was very proud of that. When I first started running, I told everybody I was a Christian first, a conservative second, and that I was a Republican third. And when the Republican Party was no longer...
Okay. All right, we have to stop. We have other candidates. But I have some questions for you. That's why I had to cut you off. You mentioned you were a member, or you founded the...
I was a member, just a member.
Okay, the Texas Tea Party. Can you explain which Texas Tea Party that was?
It was just back in, when I was involved in the very beginning, that was the beginning of the Texas Tea Party. Nobody knew what that was. I was in Northwest Harris County, and the big Texas Tea Party was out in Montgomery County, the Woodlands area, and so we all got involved. But when I got to the Texas legislature, my senator, Dan Patrick, he wasn't the lieutenant governor then, he had been the chairman in the Senate. And what the Senate and the House do is they just take turns each legislative session. So they asked me to be the chairman in the House. So that was my involvement. And back in those days, we didn't pay dues and nobody was involved. That was just Christian conservative Republicans that made up the Texas Tea Party. So I was honored to be a part of that. And this is a fine organization here too.
Thank you. Was the Texas Tea Party that you were part of the Texas Conservative?
No, I know what you're alluding to here. Apparently there was some mailer that went out to, and I think it went out to people that do mail-in ballots. And there was, Sid Miller is our ag commissioner, and Sid and I served in the House together, and he's endorsed, in these county races, he's endorsed Bull Guthrie and myself. And this mailer that went out came out of his team, because he operates statewide. And they're going to do something in Burnett County and Kerr County and all these different things. And I got to see it because you sent me a copy of it. And on the front of it, Sid says some really nice things about Bull Guthrie and about both of us. But I can honestly tell you that when I saw it, there's who I'm voting for is my business, but there's people that are on there that, that wouldn't be who I'd pick. So I'm just glad that they gave me the honor of endorsement. So I think that it's very important that we, evaluate the candidates and, everybody casts their vote for the one that they think can do the best job. And I think I'm qualified. I've had 2 different people in public forums ask me, didn't I think I was overqualified? And I said, well, if I'm overqualified, that should mean I'm qualified. So I'd be honored to be your JP.
The question that came from one of the members is Sam Silver. Sam Silver is a female. She's running against you. The issue was the bailiff is her husband, and he is running unopposed, I believe.
Right.
So he is going to be bailiff.
Right.
Constable. Well, he will.
He's a constable.
He's a constable, and they use constables as bailiffs in their courtroom.
Right.
Do you know that if there would be an ethical conflict of interest or nepotism with her being the judge?
This is a personal opinion, and I'll let you be the judge of that. My wife and I talked about that. We've been married 45 years, and if I arrested you as a constable and took you into that court and she was the JP, you're in trouble. And I think that bias is just wrong. I don't think it's correct. I was a little shocked to find out that it wasn't against the law. I understand it's happened out here in some of the areas, Fredericksburg, Kingsland at different times. I would venture to say that that's a mistake. It shouldn't be the case, and I hope that in the future the legislature takes action on that. I just do not believe that as a person that lives in Precinct 1 that it's fair that the only constable we have in Precinct 1 that takes you to that court, that his wife would be the justice of the peace. So I'm thoroughly against that, and that had a lot to do with my wife saying to me that she thought I should get back in the room. So I'm very excited about the opportunity to serve the people of Precinct 1 in Llano County, and I've learned from the current JP that basically they do a 1 week on, 3 week off, being on call for coroner and all that, and then you do your own court stuff on the other time. So you really are the JP for the whole county. So I'm looking forward to serving all of you any way I can.
Okay, last question. Because you would be hearing local tax appeals, what are your thoughts on collecting taxes? Do you feel that the citizens should keep their money or lower their taxes if they appeal it, or would you vote in favor of increasing?
Well, I think that'd be okay. Obviously, I'm one of those people, so I want to keep my money. I think we're definitely overtaxed. I'm upset that I've got all kinds of good animals out there that I'm working hard. I don't have an ag exemption, and I just told you the ag commissioner endorsed me. So I have a problem with the way that tax is all handled in the state right now anyway. But we all pay too many taxes. I just waited to the last minute and paid mine before I got a penalty the other day. So I think that I will be able to make that evaluation. Let me say that when I first was in the legislature, an issue came out of Harris County to make it to where lawyers had to be JPs in Texas. And I went to the back mic and said that I think justice of the peace ought to be a man or woman of the community, and they ought to listen to what the people have to say and make decisions, and that's what I would do in the tax issues.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ron. He will be here. If you have any questions for him, we're going to go move on to the commissioners, the next line. Thank you, guys.
I would very much appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
All right.